Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
We've woken to the news that we have a new Pope, Robert Prevost, who'll be known as Pope Leo XIV. He is the 267th Pope to lead the world's 1.4 billion Roman Catholics. To find out more, it's nice to talk again to Professor Joel Hodge from the Australian Catholic University. Joel, hello.
Hello, Joel.
Good morning. What a morning.
Were you surprised by this?
Oh, a little bit surprised. He was one of the people who was talked about, and one of the people I knew in Rome who was telling me was a possibility. But he wasn't one of the main contenders that was talked about. But, you know, it was an open field. I suspected that we probably wouldn't get one of the main contenders, but that, you know, they're the ones that people talked about and were betting on and all that kind of thing. But he's someone that Pope Francis clearly had signalled was someone he had a lot of respect for, a major future leader, because he had him in a major dicastery or department choosing future bishops. He also promoted him to the highest rank of cardinals. All happened in the last couple of years. So someone who was on the up, but also, interestingly, someone who's not from a major diocese, like Pope Francis was from Buenos Aires. He was the archbishop of that big city, whereas this Pope is from a regional diocese in Peru. Right. So not from a big diocese, not from a big city, but from the margins in a certain sense, like Pope Francis emphasised.
And not being cynical, but an American Pope, this isn't to appease the Trump administration in any way, is it?
Well, the Catholic Church and the cardinals, the Vatican, have always kind of kept themselves at a bit of arm's length with the United States. I mean, allied in close interests, but careful in terms of how close they got. So we've never had a pope from the United States, and it was thought maybe we never would because of that reason. But this indicates that, you know, they want to choose the best person, the best man for the job, so to speak. And it does give us a connection to the Americas. So, you know, that's where the most number of Catholics are. And so we've got a connection to South America and North America at the same time. And if you're thinking strategically, South America, Central America, the most number of Catholics. North America has a lot of finance. So there's lots of good strategic links there.
What do we know about this new Pope? Will he be, if he was someone who a previous Pope thought was on the right path, does that mean he'll be progressive like the previous Pope or more conservative?
Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, those categories are always difficult when talking about the church, and it depends on the issue that you're talking about. But look at his personality. Like when he came out onto the balcony, he was smiling. You know, he seemed at ease, relaxed. But maybe he won't be the kind of bouncing big personality like Pope Francis or John Paul II. He's said to be a bit more reserved, a very good listener, someone who is with people, accompanying people, like Pope Francis in that sense. So we'll see what his personality and style is like. I think he'll be similar to Pope Francis in his emphasis around governance. He talked about a synodal church, about welcoming lay people more and more into the governance of the church, and clear emphasis, similar to Pope Francis, on being with people, walking with people, accompanying them, loving them, being with them, etc. So I think he was signalling there that he's continuing on in the line of Pope Francis. Also, a strong emphasis on peace and on mission. His first words were, "Peace be with you," and they're the words from the risen Jesus after he rises from the dead in the Gospels. And he wanted to signal, I think, a strong sense of we need that love of Jesus right now, and we especially need it for peace in the world. And so I think he wanted to signal his very strong commitment to that area.
Well, right on. And I'm glad that they announced it overnight, because Amanda had a way of deciding the new Pope. Forget about the smoke coming out of the chimney. She was going to have me in a suit covered in balloons with numbers on them, and then she would throw darts at me to pick the Pope.
I picked the footy tips the same way, so I thought maybe
Already a throng of people had gathered outside the building just waiting, and a seagull landed on top of my head.
That's a lot of balloons and a lot of darts. So
That was going to be the
Thank you,
thrill of
Professor.
it, Joel.
Thank you. So it's win-win all round. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, and have a good weekend.
you too. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Joel.
Professor Joel Hodge there.